What's up, my peoples? How you doing tonight? Alright, checking the voice level, music level, visual level, and cosmic level. Let me know, thumbs up. Remember to hit 4K. And we got this perfect moon coming up right now. Dialing back some of this reverb. I remember I put it way up for the song yesterday and then I left it. What up, my peoples in the chat? Let's see what we got. Alright, let me know if the audio is acting weird. I want to make sure I get it right early. Yeah, I'm going to pause this for a second and do an audio check real quick. Not worth going too far. It has a hint of flange, huh? Alright, I'll try and adjust that, let's see. Okay, so back to the tunes here. I think everything just has extra, it's drenched in reverb by simply existing next to me. I don't know, maybe it's picking up the music from the headphones. Either way, at least it's not totally broken. I'm trying to get in here to say what's up to everybody. Let's start at the top. What's happening? Starlight, you're first, and then Pedro Huerta, what's going on? 921 Virgo, and Chris Marshall, and we got Bom Dia, what's happening? And Carolina Sky Astronomy, and Genghis Khan, and Mary Quite, what's happening? Exactly, Healing Tunes. Miguel Gonzalez, what's happening? And Duplicat, Light Moon, Mario Knows It's Flat, and everybody. I think I got everybody. Okay. Strange, maybe the mic is distorting a little bit. Let's see, I'm just going to speak by itself and see what's going on. So this is typically how I set it up. Maybe I just don't have the pop shield on it and it's flanging a little bit. It totally vanished. I had the pop shield last night and or the little foam thing that goes on the mic, and it somehow disappeared from yesterday till today. So I don't know. All right. Other thing is I posted a couple of tracks up at Bandcamp. I'm going to link to that real quick. I posted Sun 5 Moon 8 and the one with Alan Watts, and I also posted, what's the other one I posted? I just did it. Where's my thing going? What's up, Joe Salamone? I'm just putting up some link here for y'all. Yeah, and Keep You Waiting, because I changed the name. It was called Electrocats before, but this is the one. So this is live now on Le Bander Camp. Go check that out. I promised I'd get a couple of tracks up by the full moon. I didn't want to disappoint, but a lot more is going to come once I master them all, or mix them a little bit better. Who else we got? Alright, let's play this. I'm gonna get my drink on, and we'll get this show running. Keep me deep inside your soul, I keep you waiting. I keep you deep inside my soul, you keep me waiting. You keep me deep inside your soul, you keep me waiting. Somehow I remember bad times in the dust, only everyone was us. We aged it once and there was this trust for lasting feeling ignored the thru. I lived it once and your goodness stayed now into true. Tell the world what's new. Hues and blue broken from the nest as the steam rising from the west. Old time, see my rivers wide, close eyes, will bring my visions live. Open skies, clear the rivers wide. Old time, bring my visions to life. Deep inside your soul, you keep me waiting. You keep me deep inside your soul, I keep you waiting. I keep you deep inside your soul, you keep me waiting. You keep me deep inside. I was the rain, over the Alright, so that was Keep You Waiting. That's up on Bandcamp. And then this other one, where is it? Alright, this one's the other one that I just posted tonight. I'm gonna check out some zoomed in shots in a second. Just getting some wide footage right now. Lots of burbs. And still rising. So we'll check here. It's 99.7% illuminated. Definitely phase is full. And it's coming up at 15 degrees altitude. 8:30 on the clock. What's up to Howie and Pete and Stereogenic and everybody else coming through. Let's get some jams on, and then I'm gonna do some zoomed in shots. Let's get warmed up. Because it's an opportunity on the scope to have this set up. Space birds are very fast. Yes, they are. So yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out tonight, and of course earlier on the Electric View show. It went off, it ended really abruptly. I wasn't even aware that Neil was gonna end it at the 2-hour mark, but he did. Ended up talking to the gents for a little bit longer afterwards, talking about how sci-fi and how a lot of topics actually, not just sci-fi, but many other things. Oh, space bird flying overhead, space bird flying overhead, space bird. What's up, Michael Weiss or Wise? Zoom shot. That one looked like a bird. Zoomage was implied. Just making up words here. Zoomage for dank screenies. Tune dankage. Chank doonage. Star Trek. I know, I feel like such a dick sometimes because I'm always like, yeah, like sci-fi is great, but actually, you know, real science, such a downer about it. So if you have any questions that were from the show earlier, if you want to ask me about Electric Universe, please feel free to. And everybody new, please check out old playlists and the description of this video and all the videos for links to the gear, description, and music. I feel like it's all coming together. I feel like we all have it in our hearts. It's all coming together. It's all getting worse. Every day it gets so bad. How could it be? How could it be? Every day it seems like it's just getting better. Outside, you gotta find your place. Lots of crackling. Stream by way from a sinking body. I got dragged into this place, back in time and space. I was in line for another party. And Mama done came along and asked me where the hell I thought I was going. And nothing sounds pretty good to me. staying with the dream I'll make believe in the light of the moon. Pretty mama, oh, don't make them come round in the depth of your frequency star. Don't make them come around in the light of the welcome to the greatest place on earth. It was your lively intervention. You're the favorite since birth, the longest chair in my confession. But if you speculate the worth of a lifetime in search of good intentions, you'll find out what to do. If you don't, man, then you're screwed. You'll burn in search of the truth. In the light of the moon, come down. Little mama, oh, don't make them come round in the lip of your frequency star. Oh man, don't make it come round in the light of the moon. I will steal your heart, steal your heart. In the light of the moon. That story, oh, that story. Alright, little song just to test. Let me know if the levels are okay on that one. And now I'm going to do some zoomage. Zoomage. And who else? Let's see, anybody pop in? Yeah, tons of birds tonight. I'm keeping an eye on the screen. Definitely will call out if I see any transits of proper nature. In light of the tune, exactly. Let's do this tune, which is also, I posted today. This is If You Want Life.
If you want life, don't cling, don't cling. Let go, let go. How can I desire not to desire? How can I surrender myself when myself is precisely an urge to hold on, to cling to life, to continue to survive? I may be like a person who has a bad habit, as a result of which he is committing suicide. He knows that, but can't give it up. Because the means of death are so sweet. The way the world actually is an enormously complex, interrelated organism. People undergoing shock, people locked in the colorless, monotonous corridors of mental experience. If you want life, don't cling, don't cling. Is that if you are really aware of your own inner workings, have some campaign? Do you have an improved brain?
Can you see that there's nothing else? There's nothing else.
If you want life, don't cling. Don't cling.
just wanted to jump in here. No, that was definitely not the closest zoom. I still got the focal reducer in there, we can zoom way more. But I just want to jump in here and yeah, it seems like the video output is low, so I'm giving it a second so y'all can catch up if it's buffering. I don't know why every so often it gives me this weird thing with OBS. I guess a lot of people are on tonight. Could be some throttling. But yeah, that region is above Mare Frigoris, and it ventures into these, I think you might be talking about a feature that I showed last night inside the crater Pythagoras. Has like a very interesting central peak that looks like, you know, could be confused with a base. But as I've shown a bunch of times, like those central peaks that even I used to think, oh man, that looks like a T3RB, TR3B or whatever craft, like a triangular shaped craft. In fact, those are all just central peaks due to, you know, what I think is electrical scarification. So I've changed my mind on all of those, especially since those craft really, if you imagine like how big one of those things is, it's like the size of like, you know, I don't know, 10 cars, 20, you know, not bigger than that. Like it's a small craft compared to like what we're really looking at, which is like kilometers across. So it's really hard. I don't think you really see bases or craft from Earth, no matter what channels will tell you to like hype up their numbers. We saw bases. I'm like, no, I really don't think so. But like, I could be wrong. All right. So at this level with the focal reducer, I just want to show a couple of regions. We'll take a look at Mare Crisium region up at the top right. Yeah, we'll zoom in fully on all of these in a second. I'll get rid of the focal reducer and we can just get in. You gotta notice it's also still like rising, so the clarity is gonna get better in a few. Alright, so and you can tell by the fringing what's going on with the blue and red light. It's diffracting because it's still rising and it's closer to the horizon. So wonderful view of Mare Crisium tonight, kind of at a steep angle, and you can see Proclus almost from the side. Easy to see the rays coming off of it. Again, we'll draw the geometry later, but hexagonal features throughout, like spherical bubbles meeting in the sink, and then two spherical bubbles that meet at a certain boundary layer at a wall will create like a flattened edge, and that's how spheres and turn into hexagons basically while they grow. And I think that's part of this lunar geological situation we find ourselves in, like how were these basins created, these mare? We're looking right now at very dark blue tones of Sea of Tranquility, and to the left, Sea of Serenity. And you can see the burbs are just hanging out with us. But, so Sea of Serenity just all carved up. And you can see how the differentiation between the two, the mineral setup in Tranquility versus Serenity, with a kind of light camo green versus the darkish blue-gray. Alright, so this region to the north of that is, what's this large crater? So peeping Crisium at the bottom right corner, which means this crater would be Gauss crater, like Gaussian blur. And then above that would be Riemann. That's a small region that's right out of view, Riemann crater. Then Vasha Keats, Voss. Basically, when I call things out, they're crossing the center of my viewport. So right now, I'm just moving towards the northern portion of what I see the moon as, and my vantage point of the moon. I'm about to hit this little, like, mare dented dark region, so that's, if you want to align with what I'm talking about. That region, that is Mare Humboldtianum, like Humboldt County. So Mare Humboldtianum. To the left of that we got Belkovich. That's the one that's very defined. No, that's actually Hain, the one that's really defined and has like, just looks like a hot dog or something. Like it has separation, like a dark side and a light side when it's shining. So the left of Hain, Hayn, that's just like, it's not named. I think that's just like Hain F, Hain G, so continuation of that scar. And then right after that you got Kazanus, Peterman, and then Shishen in a row. And it looks like we're going to the 11 o'clock position, but this really is the North Pole, basically. This is right near, or at least that's what it looks like on my atlas. This is pointed due north right now, even though it's facing 11 o'clock. Humboldtianum, actually, I think that's what it is. What's up, Michigan Woodland Warrior? What's happening? I know I got some buffering issues right now, so bear with me. Alright, so we're looking here at, what is this? I want to say this is Anaxagoras. But I'm still looking for it on my atlas. Crazy. Where's Anaxagoras? Oh, there it is. It's just like right in front of me and I couldn't see it. Right, so Anaxagoras is that really prominent one with the rays coming out of it. To the right of that is Goldschmidt. Actually, let me get my sketch tool going as well. Let me adjust this. Is it really that small? Hold on. Does it depend on how big it is? It does. That's so weird. Okay. So it's capturing the viewport of the paint program. Behind the scenes. Okay, so where are we at? Anaxagoras right there, and then Goldschmidt next to it, and then Scoresby, and then this is Philolaus, and then this region right here, what is that called? That is Apinus, like Aepinus, Aepinus, Apinus. Strange name. What is it? Arjun, detailed Franz Maria Ulrich Theodor Hauck, German-Russian astronomer. Okay, moving through. What's going on, Darren Moore, and what's going on, Space Jones? Welcome. Alright, so doing a quick tour with the focal reducer. It's still a wide shot over here, but zoomed in one level on the camera, just so we can see more features. Just passing through here, Sinus Iridum, north of Mare Imbrium. You can see really nice greens coming out of Mare Frigoris, leading into Mare Imbrium and Oceanus Procellarum. this whole kind of region above Aristarchus is wait, where is this? Sinus Roris is right here. Right, I'm getting a little bit lost. That's the one above Sinus Iridum, actually, Sinus Roris. Jimbo says, what's the explanation for those lighter rays shooting out of some craters? So it's a really, the simple kind of take on it is that they think that everything, the popular science belief is that impacts at various sizes have created all these features. Although even in popular science, there are some people who believe that some craters are volcanic in nature. So the rays that are coming out of each of these craters, these kind of white lines you see all across the moon, are pretty much attributed to either volcanism or impacts, creating like shatter marks like you would on a glass surface, for example. The other explanation through the electric universe is that these are kind of filaments that grow out of burn marks. So it's boiled and it creates like filamentary structures that emanate outwards after, at pressure heats. And then all of a sudden it freezes after the discharge is complete. And that leaves these scarification like dendritic Lichtenberg figures. So moving down here, you can see it much more clearly between Aristarchus, Copernicus, and Kepler. One of the first things that I saw when I put the telescope to the moon and I saw these three features next to one another, I was shocked at the fact that I'd never seen a program talk about it before. Like, I've never seen a science show say, like, look at this picture of Aristarchus, Copernicus, and Kepler, and look at these amazing filamentary or whatever. Even if they were arguing for ballistic impact, like, they still have, the popular science nuts, don't make shows about talking about how these ballistic impacts have created these fantastic, like, massive structures. So for me, it seems like an untouched lunar geological topic. So talking about it makes a lot of sense. Look at that. I gotta adjust see, I turned out the contrast so hard. Hey, what's up, Ellie Wynn? You made it within the first hour mark. I love it. I don't know why the notifications are being weird. Okay, let me just adjust this lighting for a second. Okay, talking more about this electric stuff. Yeah, the moon was really orange a little bit earlier when it was rising. And there's this phenomenon that people are like, the moon is so large next to the horizon. What it really is like when you see the moon juxtaposed with buildings and trees, it looks massive. And when it goes up, past 10, 15 degrees, all of a sudden you have no context as to larger objects. And so the moon looks and feels a lot smaller. But when I thought about it that way, it made a lot of sense. That was a straw. Okay, so I was looking, what was I talking about? I was talking about filaments coming off of Copernicus. Let me just shed some light on this while I record some footage. I'm gonna make an effort to record some quality footage tonight and not forget to, because I typically talk and play, I just don't, I just hit record here and there, but it's too nice tonight. Exceptional view to the top right corner. That's Mare Fecunditatis reaching into the darkness, and it's so sharp. What's up, Fantasy Ecstasy? How's it going? Okay, so where was I? I want to just telestrate for a moment to illustrate. All right, so we've got really intriguing geometry on the moon. sure y'all have seen this before, but I'm just going to do the quick, like hexagons. Crisium, hexagonal feature. Whoops, I'm not drawing well. There we go. So Crisium, and then we got Sea of Serenity. Tonight's a perfect example of seeing the pentagon, the mare. Of course, it's got other stuff, striations coming off the top, because nothing is really like perfect geometry. Of course, there's randomness to it. And then Sea of Tranquility, to me, kind of emanates this way, but somehow there was some sort of feature that shifted. What's crazy is look at this square. It almost feels like it came from here, like it slid, but of course it didn't. Or maybe it did. And Mare Fecunditatis also has geometry. And this is what I was mentioning earlier, really sharp towards the edge over here. You got the rays coming off of Proclus, transient lunar phenomenon. You got a raised plateau here, which is very geometric. Then you've got crazier other things like talking about small craters on the rims of larger craters. We got a large crater right here called Posidonius, which is on the rim of Mare Serenitatis, right? Then you've got Mare Imbrium over here, which if you follow the line is in and of itself hexagonal. I know it's a little tougher to see, but it also has geometry because it's creating boundary layers. And then Sinus Iridum cuts right into it. So structurally, to me, this not only looks like bubbles interacting and creating walls, but it also looks like molecules. It also probably looks like thought patterns and consciousness at a certain geometric level. And if you see popular science, they talk about massive impact bombardment theory, creating these extremely organized geometric shapes that feel like they were grown. This is really a new paradigm in science that nobody's truly engaging with. That's why I'm doing it here. So let me hide this, and you can do this for yourselves. Take a look at the moon in all sorts of different pictures, and you'll see once you get the idea that the popular science has put into your minds that everything's like why are craters so perfectly circular? They're really not, actually. A lot of them are hexagons, very defined hexagons, but nobody really has the conviction to go into a chat room and say, I'm sure they're hexagons. They're not perfectly circular. So, let's move to the southern region. And then we see Tycho crater with its incredible extended rays. So the rays coming off of Tycho to the top right, bottom, and of course the main ones top left are extremely interesting, like a feature that I feel is really underappreciated and under-researched, because like what created this? It looks like a boulder like tumbling to a certain region, but really is this like an impact that created this long parallel ray structure? Or was it just a filament going across the surface, boiling its way towards the central area? So Tycho right here, and then look how long this goes. I mean, Tycho's like, I think 80 kilometers in diameter, so this is something like, like 200, 300, 400, even more. I mean, Crisium is like 650, so it's about 700 kilometers. That striation, that one, these probably go all the way around. So like an object that is that powerful, like let's say an impact object came and hit the moon like that, would it really like sit there and just create this surface feature and all these striations? That's like common pop science. But in the electric universe, proposed by Velikovsky and Ralph Jurgens and many others, and now I'm carrying the torch, which is basically that, wait, where are my filaments at? Okay, so filaments, electric currents, Birkeland currents, like very high voltage filaments, were exchanged between the moon and Earth, or the moon and Mars, creating like boiling bubbles of lava or earth or lunar soil that created these features versus an impact theory. And if you look at the world through those filters of like the moon has structure, like electrical structure like that, and you can basically boil these surface features into place, then you look at other things like the comets or asteroids or Ceres or Pluto or some of the moons, and they look scarred and they look just like the moon, then you realize, look, everything has this recursive geometry going on because they were all being subject to the same thing. How could, you know, giant fields of impacts create extremely distinct features like this? All right, time for a little break and this tune. Hey y'all, so I don't know what happened. OBS basically just had a freeze frame of the moon. I was like, man, it's not reacting to my scope control. What the fuck? So I had to reboot the stuff. Hopefully it's connected on the same stream. It looks like it is. Thanks for bearing with me. I think I need a snack right now to just quench. I finished my coffee and gotta see what's in the fridge. I will be back momentarily.
Sympathy
attention. Oh, fantastic. Just take out to the back. I'm driven along, I'm driven along, I'm driven a long, long way. You took my love, you took my love, you took my love away. I'm driven along, I'm driven along, I'm driven a long, long way. You took my love, you took my love, you took my love away. I'm driven along, I'm driven along, I'm driven along that feeling. You took my love, you took my love, don't you know what to say? On the gas, it's only a test. On the gas, it's only a test. Are you ready to go? Ready to go? Ready to go? Ready to go? I gotta get out of here. Long way. Sitting in the backseat, 70 attention, chrome fantastic. You fold your viewers in reverse. I'm driven along, I'm driven along, I'm driven a long, long way. You took my love, you took my love, you took my love away. I'm driven along, I'm driven along, I'm driven a long, long way. You took my love, you took my love, you took my love away. I'm driven along, I'm driven along, I'm driven a long, long way. You took my love, you took my love, you took my love away. Alright, peeps. Just getting a little bit of not wide, but footage here with the out-the-focal reducer. This is camera direct to the 11. That's looking pretty nice. So I was checking out that region that you wanted to see. It's to the top left of, you can see here, near Anaxagoras, above Mare Frigoris. It has a bunch of different regions, all of which look cool, but I don't see many bases really, but I do see, central peaks and hexagonal, pentagonal craters, filamentary, dendritic structures, and stacking, almost like arc welding. Look, the reason I think that they do resemble things that we recognize like bases or craft is because of this recursive geometry within nature at every scale, from geology to toys and thoughts. They all look the same, and people attribute it to coincidence, but it's really just because the universe is truly primally electric, and the shape of electricity, the geometry, is recursive and fractal. So hexagons, pentagons, circles, all these things just are everywhere. So I guess a building structure in your mind looks like a series of not rectangles, but cubes at various heights next to each other. It almost looks like a waveform. So it's easily mistaken for things that we look at as habitable regions. But it really seems that arc welding also leaves these little nubs of sorts. I don't think the reverb should be doubled. I don't know, maybe my headphones are pretty loud and they're just picking up the mic. Very possible. What? Hey, what's up, Fresh 75? How's it going? Get some moon cheese. So yeah, look at these incredible filaments coming off of Copernicus, Aristarchus, and Kepler. I know I've got like a little gray donut on the screen. I think that's the camera. I really feel like I tried to clean it, but I didn't do such a good job. I'm busting the contrast pretty hard, but it's taking it, so it's giving this really nice relief detail, considering it's a full moon. You typically can't see, typically it does look like this when you're trying to film it without using filters. That's just going to be a full wash. But if you pump those contrast and gamma, look at that, you get all the details. How's everybody feeling in the chat room? Bust a contrast. So all the regions are looking great. And with the contrast, you can see the really bright white transient lunar phenomenon, kind of either outgassing or static, electrostatic lunar dust, or tiny pockets of magnetism, remnant magnetism on the moon that are creating these much brighter white spots. They're not really about elevation. They're definitely, seems to be patterned. Actually, let's hit up some inversion, shall we? Yo, Fresh75, if you don't believe in spherical water, that water can curve, go make bubbles in a sink. You'll see that water immediately forms a very thin, layered sphere. And then when it comes into contact with other spheres, they form boundary layers, and then they create hexagons and different types of geometric shapes, like platonic solids. So the true pressure, the simplest pressure mediation form is a sphere with a thin wall, almost like the atomic structure. I know not a lot of people want to believe that, but that's curved water in your sink. Everyone's like, show me water curving. Go look at bubbles. And it's not really meant to be antagonistic. It's just like, that's really the place we need to start from, where water can behave a lot of intricate ways, and we can see it curve, and the moon is a sphere. But it also has burbs. No. The moon also has intricate geometry on it, which looks like hexagons and cuts and striations and filaments. And the moon is also probably not fully circular as well. I think our eyes make things kind of curved as well, which I know is like kind of that proof for, the world being a certain way, but the eyes only curve our surroundings to such degree. Although I talk about it a lot, I think the universe coming to a point in your eye is really fascinating. A lot of people don't consider that when they think about optics or consciousness or reality, like the fact that everything around you is really coming to you and you're receiving the data and you're dancing with the data. So your eye is pointing at something and it's receiving an interaction. Let's see. Anyway, we got some inversion moon right here. You can see the filamentary action really hardcore coming off of Aristarchus, which looks black because, of course, it's very bright, and they talk about bright craters being pop scientists, or common lunar understanding that bright white craters are younger than other craters, say for, let's say, Kepler to the bottom or Copernicus to the right. So Aristarchus would be younger. However, these features also could have been formed like 10,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago with exchange of plasma arcs between Mars and the moon, or Mars and Earth, and we couldn't really tell the difference as to whether it was 4 billion years old or 10,000, because the tools, the methodologies of dating really are unreliable, because forces in terms of how electricity changes physical paradigms is not taken into account when dating rocks and half-life decay. The moon definitely rotates. You see different parts of it over the cycle, If you look at even a couple of years of my moon footage over a certain period of time, you'll see regions that show up and don't show up because the moon actually librates, tilts, and you see we see about 60 to 63% of the moon actually. We don't not see any other side of it. It's a common misconception though, but it's okay, you know. What's going on, Sam Jack? Can I zoom in? I was just zoomed in. I'm just getting some wide footage here, and then I will zoom in again. Do you have a particular region you would like to see? Sam Jack, take a look at the description of the video. There's a list of the gear. It's a Sony Alpha 6500 on a Celestron 11-inch CPC. Tons of things have hit the moon. There are a lot of like little clips of little meteorites hitting the moon, but we really don't know how old the moon is, like, and recording astronomical history of the moon is only 400 to 600 years old. So I don't think like you can easily say, oh, we have this incredibly long record of recording the moon and we don't know what hit it or didn't hit it. There's no real frame of reference. The dank side of the moon, exactly. What do y'all think of this inversion? Should I flip backwards? I really dig it because it gives me new perspectives on shapes. You can see a lot of this kind of like X-Acto blade cuts. We're looking right here. On the right is Langrenus crater in Mare Fecunditatis, and to the left is Sea of Tranquility, and then Mare Humorum. I'm sorry, Mare Nectaris, not Mare Humorum. So the way I've been kind of mentioning it over the last few shows is really if you look at pancakes or cakes in an oven kind of boiling, you'll get all these bubbles at different sizes. Large bubbles, small ones, little patterns, recursive bubbling structures. And when they touch each other, they kind of form boundary layers that naturally look like crystal lattice structures. So, but when bees create hexagonal honeycomb structures, they're just abiding by magnetic laws as well. So I feel like it's very, the structures that we see geometrically are fully threaded within our reality. I'm just trying to move away from that whole, oh my God, that spiral looks like that other spiral. Isn't that magical? I mean, it is, but it's also, it means something. And it's good to get off the fence about guess gaming this whole universe when you are it. And you can see spirals at different levels, and you can understand how the universe works by just looking at a tree or by looking at your hand. You are the filaments. You're the same as this is how we are created in the image of God. All the language, the religious language, through the filter of electric universe makes perfect sense. All the mythology through the filter of an electric universe makes much more sense than just nostalgia or period pieces or humanized attributions. Further, you have all these politicians, like even political culture viewed through recursive fractalism makes a lot more sense than it's totally random and that guy's stupid and this guy's weird. If you look at it through branching structures, you understand perfectly the surroundings and the life you live. At least I do. That's what I bring to the table and choose to. Stereogenic says, how far with all your settings and voodoo can you actually optically zoom in? All right, so you want to see like what max zoom looks like? Let's see if it holds up here. And if I can gain back respect. All right, so set the moon to normal. And put on this song, which happens to be a Sweet Voodoo track I wrote a long time ago. This will be a perfect backdrop. I'm going to use a 5x magnifier on the 11-inch, and that would be the best, deepest magnification I can get to. And I'll show you what that looks like. Beware, there are going to be many dust bunnies visible through it, but let's have some fun. All right, my cats. So this is the 5X. Lots of little dust specks, but you can see it's like right up close. This is what happens when you add a lot of glass. You have to turn up the ISO and the shutter to get more, to get it to just normal detail. However, look at this kind of magnification. This is kind of the extent of what it would look like, minus little dust bunnies. But this happens almost immediately, like even with the brand new scope, when I had the 2X, you immediately get dusties. That's what happens. I just had to ban that. I'm so tired of it. You don't even know what moonlight being cold or hot even means. I really wish you'd research that yourself. And plus, I'm not a meteorologist. I'm a lunar geologist, damn it. I'm sorry, Fresh. I don't need that kind of jams tonight, man. You got a lot of channels, you can go and spread that sort of junk around. No offense. Alright, so let's see what this looks like. I'm going to adjust the contrast here. And what feature I think would be great to look at 5x? Let's see. Yeah, let's see, I'm just recording here. I mean, actually no, I'm not even recording. Check this out. Let's hit record and see what it looks like. This is just the simple 5x wide shot. Because the camera, when you hit record on these mirrorless, it like zooms in a bit. So it's pretty crazy actually. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that, you know, people who have other alien moon channels, they try and get this close really by kind of rigging the system or like messing with, what's that software for some backyard EOS? You can basically pretend to get this zoom level, but a lot of the times it's like on an 8-inch scope with this 5x, people really zoom in and they're like, oh my god, lunar bases, but it's not that much closer than a 2x, 3x, or even looking at it with just without any Barlows and just zooming in, you can kind of, your brain actually gets a lot more appreciation out of definition and detail rather than magnification with a lot of distortion. But it's damn close. Let's see, I'm trying to find a feature here that would be good to zoom in with the 5x. Like, I got the 5x because I was like, damn, I literally got it for Aristarchus. I remember I was like, okay, let's see how close somebody can really, like from their backyard, take a look at Aristarchus. So look at this, like we're at Stellarium and it's full screen, top to bottom, without any magnification, without any like camera zoom. Alright, I'm going to push this filter and see if the contrast doesn't help it a little bit. It's not, you know, it's kind of, you're messing with the already kind of noisy image, but this is pretty good. So this Iridium. I think Aristarchus is really the main target, and you can see where this shines. Right here, this is exactly what I got this for. Look at this madness. Alright, this is the closest you can zoom into the moon. I can do one more layer, but you'll probably lose definition. This is the closest. So double zoom on the camera with a 5x Barlow on the 11-inch on a perfectly clear night. This is max out. And even at this level, you have to understand we're looking at what, like 95 kilometers across-ish, 80 kilometers across. So you're seeing like, what is it, 2,000 pixels-ish, 1,900 pixels. I mean, it's pretty close. It's definitely close, but I don't know if you'll see craft or bases. So that's a little bit of Aristarchus at 5, and I really had to touch up that contrast, you can see. But even with this view, it's like crazy because you can see those, the structure inside. Actually, I'm going to sketch on this. So I mentioned the inner structure of Aristarchus before, but I'm just going to draw it on top of it for a second. So circular, right? And it's got a central peak, but then it has these lines that are really noticeable like that. In fact, it almost seems like it's a hexagon like this in the middle, and the lines are coming off the vertices of the hexagon in the center. I'm just drawing it off to the side, but this is what I see when I see Aristarchus. And then it also has like a cometary filamentary tail coming off of it like that. And it's inside this huge diamond. It's got Herodotus over here. And then it's got that whole Schroeder's Valley thing going on. With a split tail. What an idiotic waste of time to troll a channel like this. I don't even know what to say, man, but enjoy yourself if that's what your life is cut out to be. I love it. Like, I have no views, almost no subscribers, and this is the channel you choose to troll. It's like, I swear, I do laugh. I know it sounds like I'm fake laughing, but I actually find it hysterical that that's the state of the world we live in. Of course you're going to troll my channel, why not? Alright, so that's some Aristarchus, which I think is one of the most interesting features on the moon. Great evidence for electric scarification. Let's take a quick look here at Copernicus. So Copernicus has awesome geometry as well. Let's see. Sketch time. Damn. That was MS Paint. No, I was only talking to Fresh. I don't think I was talking to anyone else. But yeah, I just wanted to show a little bit of hexagon on Copernicus right here. But it actually looks more like, let's see how many sides this has, because I feel like it's a much different feature. It's got these sides, right? But then it also has 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Heptagon, octagon. Copernicus is very interesting. Central peaks, rays coming off. All these rays, I feel like, are very intriguing electrical phenomenon. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the 3x, or actually 2.5x, and I think we'll get a better view. It's a little dirty, and it's kind of just diminishing returns at this point. But I hope you all enjoyed this 5x test, because it is fun sometimes. Like, I got all sorts of magnifying Barlows for the scope, and now I end up really just doing as clean as possible. Alright, here's a nice zoom combo. Like I said, the 3X. That's what I had laying around, and yeah, it's looking really nice with this combination of settings. So ISO down at 320 and shutter at 1/25. And I turned up the contrast a little bit. It's not even that much, and you can see some great detail. This is that region to the top left above Mare Frigoris. And we're really leaning into, I want to say, like this is near Pascal crater. I want to zoom out and make sure I'm talking about the right region. So that's left of Anaxagoras. So we look at, that's Bryancan, or Briancan. It's 146 kilometers across. That's this we're looking at here. Hey, what up, Sky Pilot? How's it going? So, I'll let this track run. I'm going to go through a couple of regions that look good on the 3X. So, I'll hit up Aristarchus one more time, then we'll hit Tycho. Hey my peeps, I'm telling you man, this shot of Aristarchus is pretty unique. I've gotten a lot of different ones, but Getting this live with such little atmospherics. I mean, yeah, there's a bit, but it's clear. You can really see internal structure and the central peak. There's that kind of stuff that is always obscured by how bright Aristarchus is. But really what's fascinating is the filamentary action coming out of Aristarchus to the bottom left corner. So cool. And you can really see, like what I was showing, these kind of, man, this is even better. I kind of want to sketch on this. Give me 1 second, I'm going to have a quick smoke and I'm going to come back and sketch on Aristarchus. All right, here we go. So I'll sketch that shape that I noticed earlier. This almost looks like an inset hexagon here, like a diamond, like a rupee from Zelda. And it has all these lines coming off the nodes, the vertices of this object. Kind of see? That's how it looks to me. And then filamentary action coming off the side looks like a comet, like a coma tail. Coma tail. Of course, a little central peak. So much geometry inside of Aristarchus. And then Herodotus. Completely fascinated with how Herodotus was formed. Was it formed after Aristarchus crater? It looks so different in nature. It almost looks like its own little mare. And then much less relief tonight. The last couple of nights, Schroeder's Valley, Valles Squarteri, this region right here, this kind of channeling, goosenecking, sinuous rill that branches. This popular science calls a volcanic lava tube, electric universe calls sinuous rill and carved by electricity. That's the difference. So really fascinating features, 3x providing us some excellent magnification. Look at it in wide, we'll see how deep the rabbit hole goes, Neo. I'm gonna get actually some recorded footage here. I know it's Dust Bunny territory, but look at this magnificent shot of Aristarchus. It's crazy. Jumping back in the chat. What's up, July Soul? And did I miss anybody? What's up? I know somebody with a Russian name came up. I really can't pronounce that. I'm sorry, but welcome. I appreciate everybody hanging out tonight, all you newcomers, and everybody who's been such long-term watchers. And when I tell people about like my audience, it's so amazing to me that a lot of y'all come to the show and just sit here for 2-3 hours with me. I know, I'm sure you're browsing and doing other stuff, but a lot of people really sit through the whole show, and that's amazing to me and wonderful. So thank you, everybody, and for all the nice comments. I'm gonna play some tunes, some new tunes right now. Go back, I was digging in the archives, play some stuff that y'all haven't heard before, and this is some new stuff. Actually, no, maybe I'll play shall play. Started off with this one. What's going on, Tom Murphy? Welcome. Alright, so I lost track of myself. I was just reading some comments. Okay, so let me adjust the scope for a second. And let's go to Tycho Crater and take a look. Oh, J.M. Herring, I noticed somebody mentioned you earlier. Welcome. Tom Murphy says, long-time viewer, first-time commenting. I really enjoy your live shows. Well done. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all the people who kind of followed and jump in once in a while too. So makes it really all worthwhile. So thanks, and happy to have you here tonight at this really excellent really excellent viewing skies tonight. So it's a good one to hang out on. And I'm sure I don't have to belabor it, but check out the description of the video for more information. And I've reorganized the channel's playlists recently, so even for my regulars, I know some of y'all have been like regulars for like 2 years, but before that I'd done some crazy like long nights. Like there are shows that I have the moon for 8 hours or so, like rotating it, the snow moon from 2016. I have ones that are like all the, like 5 planets, have all the transit stuff, ISS, Hubble. So definitely check out the archives, or try and find, like, go to the playlists and go through those if you'd like. What else can I So Tycho Crater, look at this crazy shot right here. Let's get closer and sharpen it up. So I've seen Tycho in better relief, so different angle, and you kind of see more of the features, but this is pretty close up, considering also that it's a full moon. The detail is pretty great. I say Tycho because I think it's Tycho Brahe. That's how you pronounce the astronomer's name, but it could be Tycho Brahe. I feel like Tycho sounds more correct. Anyway, 86 kilometers in diameter, and the walls are 14,500 feet tall. So it's a massive structure, and you can see it with the naked eye, of course. This is one of those features that you'd think, you know, would have tons of experiments done on it and lunar geologists assessing it, but very little data is on Tycho. They're always talking about the poles of the moon, but Tycho's right there. Thank you all for the nice comments, everybody. You know, those night vision scopes are pretty expensive. I've looked into them, but unless you really invest a few $1,000s, you're not going to get anything really. It's not going to really be worth it. I always consider what more you could get and what more you could do in space, but really just having a good night with excellent vibes and music and a clear sky is like almost overwhelming in terms of how magical it can be. So night vision and UV and infrared and all that stuff like seems exciting, but I don't know if it's like necessary to complete the experience. This alone is just like unbelievable. When I first started, I couldn't imagine seeing the moon this close up and just having full access to it. You know, coming from star parties where you had like a few minutes with a scope. Yeah, so it's a totally different experience. Don't be a slave to space. I think once the 4th, 5th generation night vision comes out, then it might be worth throwing down those few K at it. But right now, really getting anything good is like $4,000 or $5,000, and especially trying to get that working on a telescope or working with a camera is a whole other thing. If I can't stream it, I don't play with it yet. One thing I will do maybe one day is get back to screaming at my microscope. So I do have an awesome digital microscope that I can plug in and stream, and it's actually really fun to stream microscope work or just slides of random stuff. I have a few videos from way back. I think I called it Inner Space. Alright, so I'm going to switch the lens out again. I think the 3x is losing a bit of brightness because the moon is going out of view. It's a good stream, good fun stream tonight. Alright, tunes and a little break. Now you're left for call my friend there, that's our code of arms. It's the end, so let's just play the odds. Call my friend there, that's our code of arms. Sing along till the end, you know, babe, where your friends at, take it in the arm. Run till the end, something good. Call my friend now, that's a call to arms. Stick around till the end, something good. Call your friend, so that's a call to arms. Stick around till the world stops kicking. Eyes from the street. You call my I read the rituals on the wall behind the shelf of the car. The ends counted 409. I'm back into the wall. Success is the Thunderbolts. We can fly. Touch the full desire. Hold you hold. Falls a kiss in your mind. Some state of logical desire. Don't twist my heart. Then your mama came and swept you up. And you went and married your high school lover. Man, did you want some kids or something? 'Cause I never had that in me. But mama, I've been waiting for you so long. Yeah, you traveled across the seas for me, and then you left me crawling in Amsterdam beaches, waiting on the hotel floor for you. Then your mama came and swept you up. Then you went and married your high school lover. Sad play some tunes, 'cause I know I forgot to. It's time to play some tunes, 'cause you know I forgot to. No, I got to. It's love for no one else. Save the best for last. Don't save your love for no one else but you. Up in the sky you were. It's all night, you know, with me. That's why I fire so high. And now you wanted me to tell you the temperature of the sky. Now you want me to tell you the language of Bill Nye. But it's all a dream to me now. But it's all a dream to me now. I'm lost in your filament, so lost in your unitropism. I'm lost with you in the well of gravity. You know it's all a dream if you let it be. If you let it be, let me be. Oh, I got a stream. I'll tell you about my dreams. Alright, where does that go from here? So where do I go? So where do I go from here? Yeah. Searching for the chord is sometimes so scary. Hunting for the chord is sometimes so scary. I really wanna tell you about. I really wanna share some information about. I really want. Getting punk over here. I got a little distracted because I want to adjust the moon shot. So you can see the flecks are starting to appear more and more because it's about to clear the windowsill at the top and start fading. So this part 3 of the show, the closing act, the penultimate song. I had a crazy dream, and none of me was in it. None of me was there. I had a crazy dream. I wasn't even in it, but you were there. How crazy can you make one life to dream? What is this life? It's always seemed. How crazy can you make it? We dance along the strings with friends and sing your love. How crazy can you make it? How crazy can you make it? This life of mine, I try and push it over hard sometimes, till it starts breaking, really coming apart at the seams, till it starts breaking. sort of know what I mean. Until it starts huffing and puffing, screaming at me. Don't yell at me. Oh, my back camera mind, don't yell at me. Who's there behind the man? Who is behind the mirror? Who's behind those humans? Non-playable characters. Are they all me? They all you? All me, all you? All me, all you? All me, all you? Oh, so what's with you? And this is the way we said goodnight on that sticky summer night I left with you. That's the way we said goodnight on that sticky summer avenue. Don't be waiting, don't behave in your selfish way. Don't be crying, don't relieve this side. Oh, you know I had my place set out among the stars, among the stars. How far can you take it? I wanna find you. Quadrant of the moon. So these are all just tunes, just riffing off what y'all read in the chat room, but it went real quiet. Oh, thanks. Sing it. Thank you, candles. I guess everybody's either totally enjoying it or listening to other stuff. No, it looks like everybody's having a good time. I love it. Thank you so much for the kind words. What's up, yo, Q? I'm trying to sing a little softer tonight. I really crushed myself last night. Tried to sing some of those older tunes, and really my voice, I think, has gotten a little deeper, or just a little more controlled, and what is that? It's just, I was trying to sing that chorus from Cadet, but didn't happen. All right, let's keep going on the made-up songs, but it's gonna be different. I'm gonna do something different here. Roll besides, crawl besides, and lift off on another dreaming hill. mic just one more time at me. You know I got my space family here, ready to take on the world, ready and fly through the night, the night. I know you're all, I know you're all, I know you're feeling strong, but let's see where I can take this one. You know we got a mission, we have a revolution. You know you need a mission, designing and substitution. But if you got complaints, man, you know just what to do. Implement the situation, or make a video about what you think the world is round. If you think the world is like a pancake, no one suss you out. You got your thing, you got your thing. Everybody's got their thing, and that's what makes it cool. Stop shitting on everybody, breaks the rules. I know it doesn't have to rhyme, sometimes it might. It doesn't have to bite, sometimes it rhymes. But we got a mission, no admission of the situation from the powers up above. It's very kind of you to stress how much you appreciate it, 'cause I know I love making a fool of myself for you. Failure is part of it. When you face your fears, failure is part of it. But it's about how you look at it. Some soul perspective is necessary. Where do you take some ideas? Where do you take your goals? How do you make them obey the laws they all know? Let's see. So we're losing this moon here, but I'm just gonna let it keep going with all the specs. Yo, what's up, Happy Honey Big Bear? Rolling in at the last moment of the show. It's about to go, and I'm gonna fly. do formidable opponent. Shout. Foul shout. Okay. I'm a little out of key. Alright, hold on. Got distracted by the moon. Alright. This will be the song that takes us out. We'll see if I'm up later, and I'll do a little bit of M42 on a second show, but I might just crash. Last night I said I would, but I passed out right after the show. Actually, after sitting outside for an hour. There we go. Formidable opponent coming up. Where is it? Failing. Crash and burn. Alright. Flow. There it is. You're falling like a feather. Yeah. Everyone who knows you best. We'll float. You're falling like a feather. Everyone who loves you best. We'll float. A storm is coming, baby. Yeah. And everyone who loves you best. We'll float. Formidable opponent. Angry lecture. Formidable opponent, dangerous crackpot. Formidable opponent, you can walk out. Formidable opponent, think you have the choice. Formidable opponent, angry lecture. Formidable opponent, dangerous crackpot. Formidable opponent, you can walk out. Formidable opponent, think you have the choice. The moon is calling. A souvenir, as soon as lecture, I retourner. Now fixing the foe, mixing your liquid weights, now you're never dead. Just pay your debts when you float. Alright, that's it for me, everybody, for tonight. It was a lovely stream. Thanks. And have a great rest of your night. I'll go through and shout out everybody real quick. And it's a black screen because it's a black screen, but actually I think I can pull up a star and take us out to a star. How about that? Give me a moment. Formidable opponent, angry lecture. You can hear the scope moving. All right, let's see what this is all about. All right, we got some stars somewhere nearby, above where the Pleiades will be soon. So thanks Joe Salamone and Howard Dunn. Stereogenic, and eat all your fish. Starlight spectrum, it was a joke. Mikhail Gonzalez, thanks for the vote of confidence. happy honey big bear. And please, whoever else was there, I got no hands to scroll up right now. But I'll try and remember who hung out. I know it was you, Ellie Wynn. I think we saw Mary too. I had, let's see, there was a troll. There was a troll hanging out earlier, but let me know there's July so. I'm totally blanking right now. I'm totally blanking. There was 24/7 Arizona skies, I think, and other people like that. Darren Moore was here, I'm sure. I said something to him. It was Kimmy here, maybe, and Bon Dia. Oh, have a great rest of your night, everybody. Everybody, have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your night. Oh, thanks, Howie Dunn. And thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Now I can say my name was in a song. Somewhere in the void, somewhere I got some noise. Shout out or two. I think I remember now. Michael Wise was here. I know Duplicat was here. And let me see. Shockwave didn't show up tonight, but I'll shout out the Electric View. Alright, this is really the last one. Promise this is the last song. I promise. I promise. I'm just giving you a chance. Said I promise. Tonight we dance so sweet, so sweetly. Tonight we dance. Tonight we dance. Tonight we dance once again among the stars. Come on, Tars. Come on, Tars. The commentars in the Tars. That's who we are. That's what we will do. All right. Take care, everybody. Really appreciate it. And yeah, maybe I'll catch y'all tomorrow. I probably will. It's been beautiful weather, and you know, I can't stay away. It's an addictive hobby, dare I say. And thanks for all the kind words about the music. If I missed you, didn't give you a shout out, you know I care, and I appreciate your presence lurking anywhere. Catch you soon, everybody. Peace. Sure. night to look into your eyes. Count to say alone goodbyes. Oh, my Lord, it goes. Just so much as ask questions, what's up with it now? They got skipped to society. Bring 8 billion are watching. Engineers power the minds and